Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Amy Carr. I'm the Vice President of Recruiting for Worldwide HealthStaff Solutions. And today we are here to talk about several featured employers. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate talking with you, and we'd love to hear where you are from in the world, where you're watching this. So if you have an opportunity, please put where you're from in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. And we will also take your questions from the chat at the end. So if you have questions about any of the opportunities that we talk about today, please feel free to put those in the chat. Now, we are only going to talk about 3 employers, but at Worldwide HealthStaff Solutions, we have many employers to choose from. So if these employers that we talk about today don't seem right for you, please make sure you connect with your recruiter. Your recruiter would love to talk with you and help you find the right opportunity. So for these 3 opportunities that we are going to talk about today, it is important that you have already taken and passed the NCLEX exam, and that you are currently working in bedside nursing in the specialty that you are applying for. So that is important for all of these opportunities. Also, for every single one of these opportunities, they are all direct hire. So you will be a direct employee of the hospital or clinic. They do currently all offer premium processing. These are all for EB3 green cards, which means that your immediate family members can be included on your petition at no extra cost to you for the petition filing. Each one of these includes at least 30 days of housing, free airfare for the nurse to the U.S., and then reimbursement of your visa screen and medical exam. Now, some employers may have some different benefits as well, but every single one of them will have those. So let's get started. The first opportunity we're going to talk about today is the University of Iowa healthcare system. And this is new. This is our very first time working with this partner. And let's introduce them with a video.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture.
It's important to get the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start.
Nothing can compare to that.
We offer options and research and clinical care that isn't available anywhere else in Iowa.
We really have here world-class healthcare right in your backyard.
From a treatment perspective, from a research perspective, anything that I need to better my patients, the university provides.
This is why we become a doctor.
Together.
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 Together, we're University of Iowa Healthcare.
All right. So the University of Iowa healthcare system is one of the top medical facilities in the U.S. It's also the #1 hospital in Iowa by U.S. News and World Reports. And as you can see at the top for RNs, in addition to, they're actually doing 60 days of housing. In addition to the 60 days of housing, University of Iowa is offering a $12,500 sign-on bonus and $3,500 in relocation allowance. So they're also really investing on the front end and all of the nurses that will come and work for them. It is a teaching hospital. It is connected directly to a university, the University of Iowa, and it's a magnet hospital and also a level 1 trauma center. So it has high acuity levels, and it also is a place that does a bunch of research because of the connection to the university, and it is a Joint Commission recognized hospital. One of the things that's really important to the University of Iowa is to make sure that all of their employees have financial well-being, which means that they want to make sure they're paying competitively for the area that they live in. Giving time off that is very competitive is important to them too. Helping all their employees save for retirement and being able to partner with an expert for financial planning. Those are all things that are very important to them because they want to make sure that not only are their employees happy and have a good work environment, but personally that their financial well-being is good as well. So right now, what we are hiring for at University of Iowa, we're hiring for med-surg nurses in Iowa City, Iowa. And if you haven't thought about living in Iowa, Iowa is in the middle of the country. It's in the Midwest. We have another hospital group that we've worked with that has hired about 100 international candidates. And Iowa is a very safe place to live. The cost of living is very low. It's a very friendly place. So if you haven't spent any time looking at Iowa, it's a great place to research as you decide where you want to be in the U.S. Iowa also has all 4 seasons. So it's somewhere that's got spring, summer, fall, and winter, and they do get snow in the wintertime. So it's a great place to consider. This is a great hospital system. And if you are interested in being part of a hospital system that is a teaching hospital that has a level 1 trauma center, please ask your recruiter about opportunities at University of Iowa. All right, so our next employer we're going to talk about today is Scion Health. And we'll start with the video.
Kindred has been a great company to work for. I've been with the company for several years, and they have a great emphasis on professional growth. They want to make sure that you are operating at the top of your license and that you're providing the best possible care to your patients.
The number one reason I like working here the most is my fellow coworkers and therapists. It's such a diverse group. We communicate so well together.
I've been working with Kindred for 10 years. It's been a great journey. Kindred gives you that opportunity to grow.
To be able to work with a population that is a little bit more vulnerable, it makes it feel very rewarding when you're able to really help them to get home.
Kindred just has that family feeling. We get to know our patients. We get to spend one-on-one time with them. We really get to connect with them. It's not just one patient in and one patient out. We spend time with them every day, and that's what makes a difference.
I like it because I get to see our patients' progress. I like that we are successful in our outcomes, and I like the fact that we are a valuable asset to this community and the people that live in it.
All right, so Scion Health is a different set of hospitals. Scion Health owns hospitals that are both Scion and Kindred. These hospitals are long-term acute care hospitals. So they are for people who need critical or acute care, but over a long amount of time. So perhaps they had a major life event and they haven't healed completely. So they had some sort of maybe heart event, stroke, heart attack, and they need like really critical care that they're not able to get at home or in a long-term care facility. And so the acuity in these hospitals is still at a high level. One of the things about Scion Health is that there's a lot of locations. It's a really big company. And so there's an awful lot of different positions. Our contact today, who we work with, is a registered nurse, and she has moved up from someone who started at, as a CNA and then an RN, and then she's moved up as a leader and now works in talent acquisition. So it's a big company and there's a lot of opportunity for growth within this company. It's also one of the most innovative companies in this space. And so they continue to look for ways to innovate, to have higher quality and increase access to this level of care. And, here in the U.S., because of because of many things, but I think recently COVID and just sort of the strain on the hospital system, if you are very ill, you still may not be able to stay in a traditional hospital for very long, and your insurance may not cover it, but your insurance would cover this. So there's a desperate need for really great RNs in this system. One note about Scion Health is that you do not have to have an English exam completed to interview, but they do require that you have completed an English exam prior to your petition filing. And depending on the state, we'd be able to tell you which English exam you needed to take. As always, the TOEFL is accepted in every single state. And then the IELTS and PTE and other exams are accepted on a state-by-state basis. We are hiring right now for Scion Health in Pennsylvania, Illinois, Ohio, New Mexico, Tennessee, and Indiana. I think there's lots of people that are familiar with Pennsylvania. There's lots of different cities that people are familiar with. Philadelphia is a pretty big city. It's really, within an hour and a half driving of New York City. There are some other, though, more rural areas in Pennsylvania, and some other cities that are smaller, but still cities. Generally speaking, in the smaller cities in Pennsylvania, the cost of living is really good. Philadelphia has the cost of living of a big city, and so it can be a little bit more expensive. In Illinois, there are some locations outside of Chicago. I think that's sometimes a really popular place to be. So there's some different opportunities, and really it's outside of the Chicago area and some suburbs of Chicago. Ohio and Indiana both are in the Midwest. There are states that are sort of near Iowa, and they are known for really great cost of living, and they're really safe and also very friendly. And I think it's a very easy place to start a new life because of the friendliness. Tennessee is one of my personally favorite states. It borders North Carolina, where I live, and where Worldwide HealthStaff is. Tennessee is a state that does not have income tax. So I think those states are sometimes very popular, but Tennessee is one of those states that doesn't have income tax. It's in the southern part of the U.S. Depending on what part of Tennessee you're in, you might see snow in the winter, but you might not. And they're known for like really great Southern barbecue, and also they're for just friendly people. And there's some big cities, like Nashville is a big city in Tennessee, and then there's some other smaller cities as well. And then New Mexico is a state that's out west. It borders Texas. And it's also, fun fact, home of the largest hot air balloon festival in North America. People that live in New Mexico really like it. It is like more of a desert climate, so it's very warm during the day and cold at night, but doesn't see a ton of snow. So lots of different locations available at Scion. And we do interviews twice a month. So if you are interested in Scion Health, please contact your recruiter, and they are happy to help you schedule an interview if you are eligible. The last employer we're going to talk about today is Cape Fear Valley Health, and we'll start with a video.
My name is Misty Michonne. I'm a registered nurse. I started at Cape Fear straight out of college, so I've been at Cape Fear 20 years this year. I've worked in the rehab brain injury unit for 5 of those years, and then I transferred over to labor and delivery, where I've been the other 15. One of the things that stands out about Cape Fear Valley is that administration really wants to know the individuals that work under them. I was in the cafeteria line, and our service line director actually walked up behind me and recognized me from the back and was like, "Hi, Misty, how are you? I'm not just a number. I'm an employee. They know my name, they know my family."
All right, so Cape Fear is one of our longest hospital partners. You may know someone who is currently working or is on their way to Cape Fear. We have at Worldwide placed hundreds of nurses with the Cape Fear Valley Hospital System, and it's in Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's about maybe 2 hours from where I'm sitting right now, where the Worldwide HealthStaff office is. There is a really neat and special group of international nurses that are already in the Fayetteville, North Carolina area. So it's important to you to come to a hospital system where there is already a very strong network of international nurses that are working in this system. Cape Fear Valley is a really good choice. They also have they have tons of different specialties that they work in. They have a huge behavioral health area. They've got some acute rehab hospitals that they staff, and they hire for almost every different specialty. So there's a lot of different. If you have a specialty that that you're really passionate about, this might be a good place to find a home. They also are one of the biggest hospital systems in their area, so they see a large amount of patients in the area that they're in. It's really important to them to continue to provide excellent patient care. Like I mentioned earlier, and this is in Fayetteville, and they have a bunch of different openings. So this is a place where if you have a specialty, that's in pediatrics or cath lab or, things like that, there's not always a ton of opportunities, but this is a place where you may be able to find an opportunity with a specialty that there are not always a ton of opportunities. So, and also my plug for North Carolina is I think it's the very best state to live in all of the U.S. I have lived in North Carolina and different parts of it my whole life. And the weather is really good. The cost of living in Fayetteville is really very good. You can to pay rent or buy a house, it's affordable, and it's something that is absolutely possible. Fayetteville, North Carolina also has one of the largest U.S. Army bases. And so in addition to the diversity that you would find working in Cape Fear, there is also just a general diversity that exists in the town of Fayetteville. So, those are our opportunities today to talk about. If you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. We would love to take any questions that you have live. And we're absolutely happy to answer questions for you. If you have specific questions about your specific credentials, please feel free to talk now to or chat with a recruiter live. We have recruiters available 24 hours a day that are happy to chat with you. And then like us on Facebook. We have a whole bunch of different webinars that happen regularly. Like us and follow us on Facebook in order to keep up with what's going on, including we have Carrie, who is our English teacher and assistant, does a Carrie's Corner every week. So like and follow us on Facebook to be able to see all of those things. Also, if you have an NCLEX passing nurse friend, we would love to pay you for your referral. So please don't forget to refer your friends. We have, it's a $250 that you get at the time the petition is approved. It's a really great program. You can refer as many people as you want. And then if you have not already applied, please go to our website and apply. We would love to have your application and get you connected directly to a recruiter who can help you with all of these opportunities. Okay, so let's see what questions we have. So there's a question about MLT vacancies. And there is so for medical technologists, we do have a couple of vacancies. We don't have as many as we do with RNs, but please go online and apply, and we will get you connected to a recruiter who can help put you on the waiting list for all of the opportunities and let you know as they come by. So there's a question about registered general nursing and diplomas. So both Scion Health and Cape Fear do accept diploma nurses that don't yet have a bachelor's in nursing. What is important though is that you have passed the NCLEX exam already and that you are currently working in bedside nursing. So those things are important. And then I think there was a question about an employer, Vibra Health. We do not currently have any open interviews for Vibra. If you have a question specifically about, like, if they've already hired you, please reach out to your case manager. They would be happy to help you with any questions that you have. There's a question about, is it okay from Argentina? The answer is yes. From almost every country, we accept applicants and help people go through the process. The important things are that you have passed the NCLEX and you are currently working as a nurse. Those are the requirements. There are a couple of countries that we that are difficult to help because of exceptional retrogression, which are India and China. So if you don't have a previous I-140 priority date and you're from India and China, it makes it very difficult for us to help you because of the wait time would be more than 10 years. So this time, those are the countries that we can't help. But for other countries, we absolutely can help. So somebody asked about the rate for Iowa or any specific opportunity. Almost all of our opportunities here are based on, so that the rate comes directly from the employer. So generally, the rate would come after an interview, after they've decided to hire you. Then they will calculate your rate based on your years of experience and your education. And really they do this so that you get paid exactly the same way as everyone else who works in their hospital, whether they're from the US originally or not. And so we don't have a flat rate for Iowa that would be calculated based on your years of experience. I think I may have missed one down here. Just looking through these. So somebody asked about how they can get a position in Tennessee. Please reach out to your recruiter and say, I want to live in Tennessee and I heard about Scion Health and that they have openings in Tennessee, and they can help you with the next steps and help you see if you're eligible for that opportunity. Can I work in hospital with home care experience? That's a great question. Sometimes it depends on your home care experience. Home care in the US is very different than home care in other countries. And if you work in home health in the US, oftentimes it's at a high acuity level. And so many times that acuity will equate to hospital work. If you are working in a home care position that really doesn't have a high acuity level, then it may not be considered by a hospital. But that's a really great question to ask your individual recruiter. Somebody asked about retrogression. The best way to learn about retrogression and to hear from the experts and to get a really in-depth view on retrogression is to go to the worldwide YouTube page. Ron Hoppy partnered with two of the biggest international attorneys in the US, and they did a whole webinar just on retrogression. And so we would encourage you to go and watch the webinar. They also answered tons of really great questions, and there's also some shorter clips of that. But I would suggest that I would suggest that you go to the experts and watch the whole webinar on retrogression from the experts. Is there a CNA sponsorship program available? Yeah, at this time, we really don't have very many positions open for CNAs. We do have a ton of really great opportunities for NCLEX passing RNs. And so if you haven't yet had the opportunity to take and pass the NCLEX, I would really encourage that. Also, the path to the U.S. as an NCLEX passing RN is much shorter in terms of time frame, even with retrogression. So even in the time that you would spend taking and studying the NCLEX, you could still potentially be here faster and make a better wage. So I would encourage everyone to take the NCLEX. I am looking I'm just looking at the next question. If you have a previous I-140 priority date, we can absolutely help you recapture your priority date. For your specific case, Rima, I think the best thing would be to talk to your recruiter specifically. We are happy to help you. Also, I think it's important to note that no matter where you have taken the NCLEX, no matter which state it's in, we have an amazing licensure team that can help you endorse your NCLEX to a different state. So if you have NCLEX in a state, but you have decided that you would really like to work in a different state, then we can help you do that. There's some questions about like specific positions that we did not talk about today. Pediatrics. If you're interested in one of these, please reach out to your recruiter directly. If you haven't applied yet or don't have a recruiter, please go to our website at healthstaff.org and apply, and we'll be able to get you assigned directly to a recruiter who can help you. If you have questions about a specific visa type or a specific job and whether you can get an interview, the next step really is to connect with your recruiter and say, hey, I heard about this on a webinar. Can you help me schedule an interview? That is the absolute right place to do that. If you don't have the NCLEX exam, we just aren't able to help you at this time. There is a place on the Worldwide HealthStaff website where we give you the steps to take the NCLEX, but we're, at this point, we just aren't able to help. There's questions about who we talked about today. So the last employer we talked about that's in Fayetteville, North Carolina is Cape Fear Valley Health. That is the one that's in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Scion Health is the employer that has different locations, including Tennessee. And then the first employer that we talked about was University of Iowa, and they are in Iowa City, hiring for med-surg nurses. All right, so I think that we've answered almost all of the questions. If I have not answered your question today, again, please get in touch with a recruiter, and please talk to your recruiter about your specific situation or your case manager. They will be more than happy to help you. We appreciate you so much joining us today, and thank you for allowing Worldwide to help you on your journey to the U.S. Hope everyone has a good morning, evening, or afternoon.